of GI surgery. He is a hardcore GSI. He has spent all his life in GS Medical College and PM Hospital, although he spent 1 year as Dean of Lokmanya Tilak Municipal Medical College in the year 2013-14. He is the director of GSMC Famous Regional Institute. He has a very meritorious undergraduate and postgraduate careers. He has a master's in health professions education as well from Chicago. He has received many fellowships, not only in surgery, minimal access surgery, hepatobiliary surgery, but also international fellowship in medical education. He has received various awards and honors. He has received Best Teacher Award from various institutes, Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, Maharashtra Institute of Health Sciences, and in 2012 he got a national award from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. He is a President-elect of Association of Health Professions Education and also President of International Hepatobiliary Pancreatic Biliary Association of the Indian section. He received the Maharashtra Medical Council Award for exemplary contribution in healthcare and medical education in the year 2016. He has held various editorial positions in the journals like Clinical Teacher. He was the only Indian to hold an editorial board position in the journal Medical Education, and he is on the advisory board and reviewer for Journal of Postgraduate Medicine, which is our own institutional journal. He has delivered various invited orations and keynote addresses in both national and international conferences on surgery, GI surgery, as well as medical education. He is a prolific author, more than 250 publications to his credits, including books, 32 indexed international journals, more than 400 paper publications and poster presentations. He is a member of various committees at various levels in the University, Medical Council of India, and National Board of Examinations. But last but not the least, he also has various other interests. He is an avid photographer, interested in trekking and Indian classical music, an able surgeon, a keen academician, a caring individual, a committed clinician, a mentor for young doctors, and of course an inspiring team leader. That's what Dr. Supe is. I request Dr. Supe to introduce himself.
All the three stalwarts and our head of the department to run our first MBBS and three clinical departments, Dr. Butha, Dr. Shelby Madam, Dr. Sucheta Dandekar, all the senior faculty members who have really come. The 2017 GS batch, I think it's a very proud moment for all of you to be here in this part and this part of this whole system and this institution. Proud parents of who have all come from all over India. I think at the outset, let me welcome you here and congratulate all of you to join GS. Becoming a GSI today is a dream and was a dream before. It's 11 lakh students who appear for the NEET exam, and out of which only 2,000 or 3,000 are good seats, what they call. And out of that, the prime seats are not really more than that. And GS is definitely a prime seat. So all of you are achievers. You have achieved, you have pushed your boundary and you have achieved more than what you can really do. I'm really proud of all of you. So welcome to this institution. GS Medical College is something which will really, you will enjoy in next few years. Now let me tell you and begin with what this institution is. You know, I was here a student like you about 43 or 44 years ago. And I know this room, this environment, and this kind of MLT, what we call the main lecture theatre. And every GSI has wonderful memories of this GS. And this institution will really bring complete transformation in you. This institution really is now 92 years old. It's a long journey. You know, much before I really joined. And I was lucky when I joined, it was 50 years. Then I saw the Diamond Jubilee, then I saw the Platinum Jubilee. I saw 90 years and I hope to see the centenary. And I'm sure this institution has grown for last so many years, from 1925, 26 when it was really built. And it was built with national spirit. It was built because they wanted Indian doctors to be in the job. You know, the whole, initially I think 150 years ago, JJ Hospital really started. It was in 1835 in Madras Medical and Calcutta Medical College started. But all of them had all British or foreign teachers. No Indian teacher or no Indian were giving a teachership. And with that spirit, they started this college. And this college was at that time at the brink of the city, far away from the city, and this Parel tank was an area. There on the banks of that Parel tank, this institution was really built. A wonderful institution, a great heritage. If you look at our own building also, it is so beautiful. It is a UNESCO Heritage 2A structure. It is made of a typical and Indo-Roman kind of a building culture. It was made by George Whitted, who was one of the architects who really built all these beautiful buildings in Mumbai. Something like BMC Corporation, Gateway of India, and our college also was built by him. And it is a beautiful building made of Mallory stones and Mallarvieri stones. And it is so nicely maintained today, so you really feel very happy to come here in this building. And now, but that doesn't mean that when we have a legacy, we don't change. Over years we have changed as per the time. And one of the best part of this institution is that we have changed over the time. You know, that means we have kept pace with the time. Today, in fact, I am really thankful to the Prutha and whole RRC that this, my talk has been telecasted to 5 states across through the National Medical College Network. And that is something which I think the future of the institution. That means today, what lectures are being taken, you will be able to see them across India, and all lectures across India you will be able to see them. That means we are now going into a virtual field. So in this buildings of heritage, we are looking towards space. And the same is true with the technology which have been taken across. We have now state-of-the-art equipment. You know, this is one institution which has built super specialities. You know, it's not so easy to build super specialities. But our institution is a pioneer in super speciality. To give a simple example, there are some specialities in our institution which are the only specialities in India. Something like pediatric anesthesia, DM. Cardiac anesthesia is one of the 8 specialties. GI is the only, GI surgery is the only specialty in the whole Maharashtra. That means we have progressed further with super specialties. That means when we are entering our students, we are looking towards to become the highest different kind of specialties. So beginning with the preclinical, paraclinical, clinical, specialty and super specialties. And that kind of a journey we have gone. We have always, our leaders, and I think our past teachers have always thought beyond. And they have put one step ahead so that they have become the futures of the country. And that is what is the power of our institution. And therefore, having a heritage and having a parampara legacy, we always have looked forwards and got one of the best equipment. We have, maybe I understand this is a government system, but in spite of being government system, we have one of the best instruments, best facilities, best surgeons, best physicians, and those who probably really give the state-of-the-art treatment. And that is not so easy. And that works only because people here are passionate. People here work with passion. They put in a lot of effort here to bring our students from what they are. And that is what probably we all have to really look when we are looking back. If you really see, Indian education has always been having a different kind of a legacy. You know, all of you must have really heard. We really go through Vedas. And I'm sure what is Veda? And if I say in Marathi, I'm sure some of you will definitely, most of you will understand. Vadati te Veda. रुचा वेदातून रुचा निर्माण झाल्या आणि रुचा म्हणतात ते ऋषी आणि मनन करतात ते मुनी. पूर्वीच्या काळी सुद्धा एक आपल्या देशामध्ये एक शैक्षणिक अशी एक संस्था होती आणि ती वेदातून तिथे वेगळ्या प्रकारच्या सिस्टीम्स होत्या. म्हणजे तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना कल्पना आहे की ऋग्वेद हा होता
निर्माण झाला तो यजुर्वेद, आणि अप्लाइड सायन्स आज आपण म्हणतो तो म्हणजे अथर्ववेद, आणि आर्ट्स म्हणजे झाला तो सामवेद. साम म्हणजे संगीत. आणि त्या काळामध्येही बेसिक सायन्सेस, अप्लाइड सायन्सेस, द मेन सायन्सेस अशा गोष्टी होत्या. आणि अप्लाइड सायन्सेस मध्ये आयुर्वेद निर्माण झाला. आणि म्हणून आयुर्वेदातून आपण ही शैक्षणिक संस्था पुढे केली. त्या काळातही कुंभ होत असत, महाकुंभ होत असत. महाकुंभ आणि कुंभ म्हणजे काय, तर त्या काळामध्ये असलेल्या कॉन्फरन्सेस होत्या आणि त्यामध्ये लोकांची देवाणघेवाण होत असे आणि त्याच्यातून लोक पुढे जात होते. आयुर्वेदाचा त्यावेळी खूप प्रसार झाला आपल्या देशामध्ये. आणि म्हणून आपल्या इन्स्टिट्यूशन मध्ये आपण एक आयुर्वेदिक रिसर्च सेंटर चालवतो आणि आपण ट्रॅडिशनल मेडिसिन आणि मॉडर्न मेडिसिन ज्याच्यामध्ये गॅप आहे ती ब्रिज करण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो. म्हणजे परंपरा आणि मॉडर्न मेडिसिन याचा आपण एक सुंदर असं आपण एक मिलन करतो आणि त्याच्यामुळे आपण आपल्या देशाचं जे काही रिसर्च आहे तो पुढे नेतो. त्यामुळे केवळ शिक्षणच नाही, केवळ पेशंट सेवा नाही, तर आपण रिसर्च सुद्धा, संशोधन सुद्धा तेवढ्याच प्रमाणाने करत असतो. एनी मेडिकल कॉलेज, when you really see, it's a professional college. And what do you mean by a professional college? There's a lot of difference in a regular college which you probably have attended when you appeared for NEET. I'm sure you must have attended PACE or NEET. Some of you may not have attended colleges. I know my daughter was in Rupani College and I know how much she attended during that. She attended more classes than what she attended college. So you never really learn the environment of a college. But medical college is a different college. Medical college is like your second home. In fact, if you go back to Vedas and you say that when you graduate, they call it as Snatak. Now why do you call this Snatak? Snatak is when they call anybody gets Brahmanya, they call it as Dvija. I'm sure Marathi तुम्ही ऐकलं असेल की ब्राह्मणाला द्विज म्हणतात. द्विज म्हणजे काय, जो दोन मातांपासून जन्माला असतो तो द्विज. आणि कुठल्या माता, एक तुम्हाला जन्म देणारी माता आणि एक गुरु माता. आणि एकदा तुम्ही गुरुगृही गेला की तिथे असणारी तुमची माता आहे ती तुमची दुसरी माता. आणि ज्यावेळी तुम्ही तुमचं ग्रॅज्युएशन पूर्ण करता त्यावेळी ह्या दोन्ही माता एकत्र येऊन त्या विद्यार्थ्याला स्नान घालत असत आणि मग त्याला ती डिग्री दिली जात होतं. म्हणून तो स्नातक प्रोग्राम म्हणायचा. आपण ज्याला कॉन्व्होकेशन म्हणतो, that was Dvija, that means two mothers used to really give rebirth to the child. So what I want to give you a concept is that when you have come to this medical college, you are now reborn. That means what happens when I was came to this college, I was 17 years old, maybe 17 years old. But when you spend time in this college, there's a tendency to get cut off from your house. You stay in a hostel. Your friends become now in this college. From morning 8 o'clock to evening 8 o'clock, you're spending your time into college, halls, libraries, canteen, on playing games. So you have very little time to go home. So this becomes your second home. So this is your rebirth, but this will definitely transform you completely. And that's why we have to really look towards this kind of a change as a major change in your whole career. But this will give you everything. This whole concept of rebirth, now coming back to this professional institution, is a transformational experience. That means it will change your whole personality. It will change completely the way you are going to be. And this is very important for all of you. Today's students have different challenges. I'm sure all of you have been reading what are the various challenges of today's students. It's not only competitive. I'm sure there's a competition. You're all looking forward towards those prime seats in post-graduation or super specialty. You're looking forward towards career. You're looking forward to become a big doctor. Yes, but along with that, you also have to cope up with the changing times of the world. Today we are facing with lot of trouble. You know, social media have a tremendous influence on you. We are reading about blue whale. We are reading about suicides. We are reading about depression. We are reading about coping up with everything.
Now I feel this is a problem every parent is also facing. How to talk to my child? Whether I should scold him, whether should I pat him, whether should I allow him to do what it is. But remember that you all are achievers. You are not only achievers, but you are super achievers. You are all ambitious. I'm sure it's good to be ambitious. Good to be having a goal in front of you. But that doesn't mean we should feel frustrated. This is one college which I was always told one thing, that everybody comes here is always an achiever. You know, I'm sure everybody, when your results are there, your parents have felt you are the best, and you are one of the best in the world. But for we, you are all 180 best. When the result, Tutha will put her first test result, she cannot give equal marks to all 180 students. So she is going to put somebody first and somebody last. That means you have to be ready to be last. Because you may be the best in your own college, but when you come here, there is a possibility in this competitive spirit, you may consider yours as a failure. But that's not a failure. You know, in medical exam, you will have every week exam. So you have to cope up. Sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't do well. And this is what happens. So you don't have to really be so aggressive saying that, no, I have to pass and become first in exam. If you really put that pressure, that academic success is not everything in your life. And that is what all of you have to really remember. This college has definitely an intellectual curiosity it will generate in your mind. And all of you should really generate that intellectual curiosity for knowledge. Everybody will get knowledge. I'm sure all of you will be masters in knowledge. You will write wonderful papers. You will get wonderful marks. But I want you to go beyond that. I want all of you to go beyond and achieve a 360-degree development of yours. And this is what this college will provide to you. This college has, if you really see, wonderful co-curricular activities. It has a strong academic program. I'm sure you will see this. They will make you work, they will make you write, they will ask you to write papers, they'll ask you to do projects, they will make you go through various kinds of these rituals. It's a part of the process. But while doing this, you also have to remember that you have to develop yourself as a human being and personality. There's a lot more agenda. The canvas is too big. It's not only one speciality. There are a lot of other things we have to really fill in. Whether it's a sports, whether it's an art. So why do we have to have an art? Remember, every individual has to have a humanity component in him. And if you want to have a humanity component, you have to have art within you. You have to understand the compassion for a patient. You have to understand what this patient is suffering. You have to understand the other side of the story when you look at the patients. And if you don't have art, you don't have the performing or any other kind of an understanding, you will never be able to understand what a patient care is there and what doctor-patient relationship. I have seen in these classes, many people we have got gold medals. We probably get plenty of distinction holders, gold medals, achievers, super achievers in the last 40 years. But all achievers who get academic success don't become successful in their life. That is because they many times lack the 360 degrees development. So you must positively make an effort to look at the other side of the story also. Does it mean compromising your academic? At times, yes. There is nothing wrong about it. You know, I want to learn an art and continue with something, I want to learn a hobby. Maybe it will give me much more happiness when I'm really looking at this. Now, this brings to me a fact that what are the various aspects of our hospital? You know, we have wonderful departments, but we have wonderful curricular activities. We have a program called Shidori. We teach students studying skills. We teach students communication skills. We teach students ethics. We teach them professionalism. On the other hand, we have many programs. You know, Avishkar is a program of cultural arts. We have Cultural Week, we have Sports Week. We have recently, our own students conducted an academic conference of Confluence. which is an academic research conference of students, where many students do projects and presents, and there are more than 300 to 400 students across Maharashtra come here, in fact from India at times, and they would present these papers. Now, and this is all run by students. And I must tell you, it was one of the best conferences I have heard in the last few months. There were a lot of people who came. One of the speakers was Dr. Rani Bang, and she spoke very well. She spoke here and she said that, and the topic we gave was bridging the Indian and traditional medicine. And her talk was really mind-blowing. It was completely changed our concepts. She said, I was one of the person who was gold medalist. I was a PSM professor, she was a lecturer in Johns Hopkins, USA. She came back and she went to the Gadchiroli district. And what did she realize? She realized that what I learned in these medical schools did not really work there. I could not communicate with those children or those women because they had a completely different concept of health. She went into the anthropology, she went into the whole perceptions of anthropology, and she said that we have to come out of that tunnel vision. We have to see what community needs. Unless we build in this in our own mind and our continuous education, we will never be able to be successful in our life. I think these are the thoughts which we should always take.
Of course, I'm not saying we are all academicians. We continue to run and we continue to achieve. But behind this achievement, we should always build a human in ourselves. And this human building is something which this college will teach you. This college will teach you for lifelong the principles, ethics, values, which you will be really taking. So this is one opportunity you have got, and you should always use this. I'm sure one of the best part of our system is that we push you to the boundaries. We normally take you beyond what your capacity, so that you build a higher capacity. Sometimes it is stressful. You know, what medical education is a stressful thing. Right? It's not so easy as you think. The science is too vast, the competition is too heavy, you will find your community needs, demands are too much. We have to really fight against many things. Within that all filter, we still have a profession which has self-esteem and something give back to the society. And that's the reason I feel we are all in this profession, because at the end of the day, when we look back, we always feel extremely satisfied and proud. And that's the reason we all should be there. Even if you are pushing our boundaries, we should see that we are coping up with that. More important in this hospital, I feel there are a lot of support systems. We have to have a lot of support systems. I'm sure, I'm very happy to say that with Dr. Bhosle and the whole team, we have not had ragging for many years, which I think all parents should really feel happy about that. And we'll ensure that if you have anything which you feel is not well, please call on your teachers. Everybody is open for you. You can always enter. Dean's office is always an open office. You can call us so that feel assured and feel safe here in this institution. And that is what we would like to promise you, that we are here to always support you. This is what we would like to also tell to parents, that I'm sure you have looked after your child very well. You have looked after him beyond what your capacity so that he is here. मला वाटतं प्रत्येक इथे असलेल्या इकडे पेरेंटनी आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये जे काही आहे ते सगळं आपल्या मुलांना दिलं. आपल्याला जेवढं देणं आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त दिलं. म्हणून आज तुम्ही सगळे विद्यार्थी या हॉलमध्ये बसले. आपण आपल्या पेरेंट्सचं रूम तर नक्कीच फेडलं पाहिजे. पण I have a simple advice to the parents. Yes, now these all children are going to be independent thinkers. And we want them to be independent thinkers. Over a period of next 5 and 6 years, we want them to be independent thinkers. So let them take few decisions on them. Don't pounce upon decisions on them. We as teachers also do not want to pounce too many decisions on them. We want them to be independent thinkers at the end of the day. We want them to stand and walk into this whole world independently and confidently, competently. So that's what I think all our teachers and all our parents should do. We should watch them. We should say that they are walking well, but don't try to really push them. Let them walk on their own. This college, as I said, will induce intellectual curiosity, which will make you an independent thinker, which will also make you competent, a 360 degrees person, so that you can really go ahead and do that. So how do you overcome all this stress? Everybody goes through stress, academic stress, the stress of achievement, stress of adjustment to the life. You're coming out from some environment which is a very healthy environment, safe environment, supportive environment, to a hostel, where many times you have to do everything on your own. You have many times social issues. You may have emotional issues about yourself. This institution, many people fall in love. There are many people who will form pairs. Every year we have seen 10 people at least form pairs and go out as couples. And this has been a tradition for many years. Myself and my wife are also sitting here for many years. And then we get together and we are still there. My daughter and her, my son-in-law, they were also college mates in Sion Hospital. So these are traditions. If you find a like-minded people, many people have seen here forming couples. But there may be many emotional issues with people might see. What is important is there how to cope up this stress. Coping up with stress, there are many things you can really do in this institution.
Another way is allowing people to let in your life. See, today what has happened, most of the families are what you call an nuclear families. Husband, wife, one son. Husband, wife, one daughter. The whole world is around that. Many times we do not allow other people to enter our life. But then you also have to bear the stress. When you come across this house, many times you will find that relieving stress is by allowing people to let in. You have nice friends with you, nice groups with you. These groups which you form, and you go ahead with lot of stresses of exams, lot of issues which you face together, you will be lifelong friends. And these friends today also, my group, when I was in 1974, we have a wonderful WhatsApp group. We share a lot of messages, sometimes junk. But the most part is that even everybody now is probably at the zenith of their careers. Many of them are directors, deans. You see everybody is at a very high level. But when you go back to your college kind of a WhatsApp group, you are back to your students. I don't know how many of you really seen a very nice Amazon video. Gudiya Wapas Aa Gayi. I know, very nicely video. I think if you have not seen, you must see that video. A lady retires and everybody gives a send-off. And then she goes back to house. And the whole family greets her. And through Amazon, they gave her a guitar. And everybody's surprised. And they say that, let me go back to my own personal life. And then she gets a friend. And they talk like the school friends. So I think all of us remember these friendships. And we become child, we become young students when we meet our colleagues. And that's the power of these friendships. That's the power of letting people go inside and having adjustments with them. You know, let's form groups. Let's work together, and stress has to be coped well with a lot of people around you. They give you the energy. And if you're able to do it, I'm sure you will pass these 4.5 years very easily. And that will also help you not only to achieve academic success, but to sustain it, accept the failures, and then you will be able to progress further. Medicine as a profession, you are a little different than normal professions. In a law, you will probably learn in all schools or courts, but in medicine, you have to really go to the patients. You don't learn well if you don't see patients. See, today what has happened, NEET has really put you into a place where you only read those books and you pass exams and you success. But after that, what happens? Today I get complaints from the doctors and patients कि ये doctor को कुछ आता नहीं, he is not able to talk to us, he is not able to start an IV well, he is not able to diagnose. So today a patient comes, many times what happens in our own casualties and OPDs all over, I mean you see, patient comes, पहले CT MRI करके आ जाओ फिर मेरे पास. They will not even look at the patient. Now this is not what medicine is. Medicine is a profession. So if you want to learn medicine, the medicine is a different profession because you have to be with the patient. You have to walk around the patient. You have to live like a patient. You have to understand what a patient's needs are. Then you will be able to give a more difference. There has to be a lot of cultural sensitivity. You know, sometimes we don't understand as a doctor. You know, I must tell you one story of one young girl, Adivasi girl, came to me about a few years ago. I'm a surgeon, GI surgeon. Always a patient came to us. You know, typically in our OPD, a patient comes. So we understand OPD is an outpatient department where a patient walks in. She's about 19-year-old girl and she had a colorectal cyst. So I told her that you will have to get operated and we'll have to remove that colorectal cyst because it is likely to cause you infections and everything. As usual, patients, Adivasi, don't speak so much. But somewhere or other, she refused that surgery. And she says, Doctor, me parat jaun nete gari. I said, okay, I realized there might be some problems. After 1 or 2 attempts, she got a little infection, but she was still not well. So I told her, why don't you get operated? She said, Doctor, I am about 18 years or something like that. And if I operate today, I will get a big scar. And if I get a big scar, no man will marry me in my community. So you never understand their problems. We said, okay, by that time, laparoscopic surgery had come. So we did laparoscopic surgery for her without scars. She went home. After about 2 years, she came out with a baby in her hand. And I must tell you, that was the biggest pleasure you can get in your life, that you have adjusted to the Indian culture sensitivity and you have adjusted the medical science with what was her need. Now, if you are not able to do this, and then you give a big scar, then she will remain unmarried throughout life and it will be a social burden. So understand people, understand taboos of our people, understand our system, understand our people, and then change the profession the way we want to change. If you are not able to adjust, many times you will read foreign books. You will read something which is given on the internet. You will read something which is given in a PubMed. And then we are trying to put that to our patient who doesn't have even money for tomorrow, especially in our hospital. Maybe that is the best treatment. But does that patient really afford it? Can he really cope up with it? Does it fit into his practice? Where is the human angle? Where is the social accountability? Friends, this is where we have to really think that we will achieve. But what will we achieve? We will achieve the academic knowledge. The practicality is missing. And this is what we all of us have to really learn. Yes, we have to be more humane rather than only a physician. And that is what makes our medical profession a different profession than any other profession. This you will never get in IT people. You know, IT people may work, they will sit in the night, they will work, and throughout the country they get H1B visas and everything. That's all fine. But will they get the satisfaction like we get of treating patients? Will they get satisfaction of and happiness on that girl which you can never forget in your life? And this is what we all of us have to really do. Now the next thing what I always feel that the physician should not only treat the disease, but he should treat the patient and human. And unless you do that, you will never be able to be a satisfied kind of a physician. Lastly, I must tell you, there are many things I am going to tell you. The life is so short, but our canvas is too big and we have too much to achieve. It's not possible for us to achieve everything. There are very few who can do that. But we will have to really think about some things in our life, what I want to really do. And you will have to really put down your path, at least a career path should be there. You know, there are different personalities. Some people would like to have their vision very clear. Some of the people will say, I will walk on the way it comes. Everything is fine. It's not that you have to every time have to have a clear map of what you're doing. Some of you will have a clear map, some of you will not have a clear map. Some of you will walk as it comes, and I'm sure that is also a right way to really go through. But there is a lot of future to our profession. There's a complete changing trend into medicine. Today, our life has really increased. All of us, which were in 57, 64 years as a life expectancy, in India itself, we have seen now 64 and 69. We are seeing now many elderly individuals which are living happily 89, 90, and we are sustaining all their life. If you go all over the world, this is a trend. Incomes of people have gone up. The quality of life of people have gone up. What is most important is that when the life expectancy increases from say 50, 60 to 80, health becomes a major issue. And therefore the need of physicians becomes a huge need for the physicians. New diseases come out, new problems of health issues come out, and in that situation, the doctor's need is going to be more. But what is more important is the technology has come in a very big way. There's a tremendous technology push which has come. Newer and newer techniques are coming. Newer and newer therapies are coming. Newer ways of treating patients are coming. We all have to not only grasp them, but see that how we will give it to the community. And that's a challenge. So the future is always good. I must tell you that IT was booming about say 10, 15 years ago. Today IT is not so booming. There's a slack. But all of you will never face this in medicine. The diseases and the patterns of diseases don't go down. They only increase. So this is one profession you will continuously always get, I'm sure, what the so-called business. But don't call it a business, call it a profession. What is more important in medicine also I feel is the satisfaction which you go. Now what I would like to give you few messages for your personal and professional growth. First thing is medicine is a hard work. Don't underestimate. All of you have to work hard. Don't say that this is a very quick kind of a buck I can make. No. People spend here till 35, they have to read even after 35. Even professors have to publish papers. They have to really do CME updates. They have to be all the time updated. Because what I learned today after 10 years, it is always said that 50% of what I learned today will be outdated or wrong. The trouble is we do not know which 50%. So all of us have to continue reading and continue updating ourselves throughout our life. So medicine is a hard work. You have to continue working hard. Secondly, whatever you study, study with skills. There will be a session on study skills, but remember, don't read like a gada. We have a focus. I'm sure all of you are focused, but you should know what is really useful, what is going to help you to improve your skills, and what is going to help you in exams. That is the most another agenda which all of you have. So study with skills. Thirdly, build a good team around you. Build a good team, friendship around you. I probably passed only because of my friends. Otherwise, I used to enjoy like anything. I was a secretary, Marathi Omda secretary, cultural secretary, GR, everything. So we used to do all other activities. And when exam used to come, that time used to release. That time there was no compulsory 75% attendance, I must tell you. Now I am sure you will have to go through biometrics and everything. But that time we used to all have fun, and last 2 or 3 months we used to study, and that time friends used to really help us. In fact, I remember the story. The director of Tata Hospital, Dr. Badwe, and me locked up ourselves into one of the Cooper Hospital, and we studied for 1 month when we passed our rigorous examination. And it was just discussion. It was just discussion on the books, cases. We used to go to wards and see cases, so we locked ourselves. So the good friends with you can always make a lot of change in your point. Another important is, today we have to do a lot of networking. Networking not only in colleges but across. In fact, I feel you will do all networking across the world. Look at the friends around you across the institutions, across the world. Look at how it is going. Pick up the best from them, and I'm sure you will be the winners. Most important, share and be successful together. You can't be alone success in medicine. It doesn't happen. Medicine is a teamwork. If I have to do a liver transplant, it is not my success. It is the success of my team. It means for me, the head of the department, professor, to that servant who really helps me to do suction and everything. Nurses, my assistants, then the person who is coordinator, the laboratory people, X-ray people, all of them together will be the part of the team. So whatever you do in medicine, you will always share and be successful as a team. Most important, be competent, study for competency, not only for marks. You know, there's always a dilemma. Last week we had a debate. Should we work during internship or should we study during internship? Very interesting, and people ultimately said that we have to balance it. So ultimately be competent. You know, you will be recognized as a competent. See, many of the girls, the family starts looking at them as doctors. You know, you go to now, after second MBBS, you go to your family and they will start asking you, "Khasi ke liye kya dawa le do?" And then you realize, I don't know anything, you know, I know only the pharmacotherapy of that and I don't know anything about this. But people are going to ask you practical problems. You know, same thing happened to me. I went to a training internship and somebody had a dislocation of shoulder. I knew everything about dislocation of shoulder, but then to do that on the spot was a little difficult problem. So you realize that you are now going to be looked upon as a doctor, so be competent rather than trying to be only a theory master. Another thing is, attitude is everything. I must tell you, however big you become, ultimately what matters is how much your feet are down on earth. Attitude, sometimes if you really throw your tantrums, you will get something, but not all the time. So be polite. A doctor is expected in society to be honest, polite, and again a very professional. So keep your that self-esteem and everything. I'm sure that will help you. And I cannot tell you less about attitude because attitude is everything in your life. If you have a good attitude, you will be always successful. Another one is communication. Communication with your patients and colleagues is something which is most important. You have to learn in this medical college how to really communicate. Respect your colleagues and family. However you become big, your parents are parents. They have shared for you. They have woken up for you. They have spent nights for you. Your teachers have spent a lot of hard work for you. Respect them. You always get a respect by giving respect. Most important is be socially accountable and understand the poverty. Many times we will send you to various camps, community visits. It's not just visit. It is to understand the poverty, understand people's problems, understand community problems. When you understand those problems, then only you realize that what we have to deliver in this hospital. You have to be socially accountable. You know, there has to be social obligation, social responsiveness, and socially accountable. There are the 3 steps in a career of everybody. All of us are socially obliged. Some of us are socially responsive, but very few of us are socially accountable. So all of us have to be socially accountable. We have to see that I'm doing my bit, especially for the community. Empower yourself for future. Always don't remain behind. All of you have to prepare yourself for future. What we are teaching you may be for today, but you have to really understand that you have to have a 30 to 40 years of career ahead. So think about for yourself for future and develop your personality for sustainability in life. There are always ups and downs in life. Everything is not up every time, everything is down every time. But you have to face that. You have to sustain that. You have to achieve success also, and you understand, and there is a game, I don't know, there is a one called as a mental imagery. Mental imagery is something which they play when they have these World Cup football matches or something like that. In 70 minutes, your world is going to change. Either you win or you lose. What will happen if you lose, and what will happen if you win? I think all of us as a student is to always remember this. Let's try hard and prepare for the worst. That was our strategy in Niagara hostels and all these hostels. But that was the best policy. You prepare for the worst. What will happen maximum? I will fail. What will my parents will tell कि तुम GS में जाके पढ़ाई नहीं किया, ये किया, वो किया, whatever. Fortunately, our failure rates are only 5%. 95% to 96% people pass in our college. But you are ready for the worst and then prepare and try for the best. And that is what I prepare yourself for sustainability, which according to me is one of the most important things. This college will convert you from a novice to a professional. It will transform you. This is an opportunity. If you grab it, you can make a complete change within yourself. You can be a world leader. This college has produced world leaders, consultants, not only in Mumbai, not only in India, but all across the world. If you travel in any part of the world, I can see my students. They will not only will come, but I am very proud to say that my own registrars today, in last 20 years, some of them are in Atlanta, Georgia, Singapore, UK, all of them are now heading many units there across. And when you see, we are the proud people, I feel extremely proud. Yes, they were all students here. And they have all grown there. So this is an opportunity you will all grab. And one thing I must tell you, that don't feel alone in this institution. There are a lot of people who will help you. And that's the success of this. All of you will earn a lot of money. All of you will earn a lot of fame. All of you will be successful. And you remember my words after 20 or 30 years. When you come back here for your get-togethers, you will see a lot of, like we get every year get-togethers of batches. 1987 batch, 84 batch, 74 batch. And then we see 50 years, 40 years, how people have really grown, what they were as students and where are they today. But my advice to you is, be ethical, be socially accountable, be culturally sensitive. This will not be taught to you in books, neither in classes. You have to learn on your own. You have to learn in this institution and you have to learn by this observation. And what I would like to say at the end is, ह्या तुम्हाला दिसतात त्या भिंती नाहीत, ही एक वास्तू आहे. तुम्हाला जे वाटतं लायब्ररी वगैरे जे आहे हॉस्टेल्स, ती हॉस्टेल्स नाहीत, ते तुमचं घर आहे. इथे असलेला प्रत्येक माणूस किंवा आमच्या इकडे सुद्धा प्रत्येक व्यक्ती आणि प्रत्येक जीएस साईट केईएम आणि जीएस मेडिकलला एक मंदिर समजते. ते प्रत्येकाचं एक श्रद्धास्थान आहे. इथे तुम्ही ज्यावेळी धावाल त्यावेळी तुम्ही जर पडलात तर तुम्हाला सावरणारे हात इथे आहेत. इथे मोठा आकाश आहे, जिथे तुम्ही आकाशात उंच उडी माराल आणि ज्यावेळी पण तुम्ही आकाशात जाल, पण तुम्ही जर पडायला लागाल तर इथे तुम्हाला पकडणारे पुन्हा इथे माणसं आहेत, हात आहेत. सो डोंट बी अलोन. This institution has probably will give you and has given us so much in our life. So look at it as a temple. Look at it as not only as an institution which you achieve, but you will come out as one of the best person. We look forward, all of us, to work with you, see you growing, getting you know, and I'm sure anywhere in the world you go as GSite, you'll always remain as a GSite. And let us, all of you, expect that you will be a proud GSites. And I wish you all the best. देव तुमच्या सगळ्यांचं भलं करो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you.